Good morning, everybody. All right, it is 7:20. It is saying that I am live. This is Wednesday, August 5th, and the reason that I mentioned that is because our new catalog went live. Grab it. Our new catalog went live yesterday, and we're going to actually take a look at it today. So I'm going to basically jump right in, but we are going to be talking about the Magic in This Night suite. When I first looked through the catalog, I'm always looking for Halloween because I love Halloween projects, and you'll have to let me know if Halloween is something that you love too. But the Magic in This Night suite is pretty cool, and that is what we're going to be working with today. If you do not know me, I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. And like I said, today we're just going to be taking a look at the new catalog. I'm not going to do a catalog walkthrough. I'm really going to just focus on a particular suite or new product, probably once a week leading up through the holidays. So today we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about Halloween in the new catalog. And then tomorrow we're going to do another alternate project for Paper Pumpkin. But we're going to do two different versions, and I'm going to incorporate some fun stuff in there. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let me switch my camera here. All right, so here it is. This is the Magic in This Night suite, and we can just take a look at their projects here for a second. I'm going to walk you through everything that comes in this suite, and then I'll show you what I made, and then we'll make something together. I just realized I did not have my microphone clipped on. I hope that you guys can hear me okay. Let me just clip this on. Okay. So just to take a quick look at this, you can see they've done a lot of really cute things here. So we have some bats and some trim on a candle. We have embossed foil with some labeling here. We have some spider dies and stamps. There's some really cool stuff. And then they get into the treat bags and boxes and all of that lovely stuff. So let me show you what's included and some add-ons that you can use with this. So this is on pages 52 and 53, and it actually goes over to page 54 as well. So if you are not familiar with our catalogs or the suites, basically a suite is a collection. And you can get the entire collection with one item number if you know you want the whole thing, or you could purchase each item individually, or they may offer a bundle. So you have options. You can purchase individually, just singly what items you want. You can purchase a bundle. When you purchase a bundle, you save 10%. That's why you'll see this little sign right here. Most bundles are usually like a stamp set and coordinating dies or coordinating punches. And sometimes it's larger than that, but that's what we have here. We have a 3D embossing folder called Cobwebs. This is my favorite. You'll see. And then we also have this paper. So this is the designer series paper. It's 12 by 12. And here are the color themes that they have here. Pretty Peacock, Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, and Basic Black. There is a cool mesh metallic ribbon, iridescent pearls, and black glitter paper that all would come in the suite. Okay, this is a closer look at the stamp set. And if you see anything that's in white, like that stands out, that means there is a coordinating die for it. Okay, anything that is not in white is just the stamp. There are no coordinating dies. And of course you can, you know, add your own punches and dies to cut those out, but just wanted to mention that. And then here you can see the dies just a little bit closer. And then here are some more example projects of what they made with it. Okay. And I'm trying to decide if I want to show you my cards. So let's just walk through a couple of the cards that I made here. Okay, so I'm going to show you some additional product that I used to make these cards, but for the most part, most of the decor, everything that you see here pretty much is from this suite. Okay, and then here is Happy Halloween. Here is Trick or Treats. Love this one. I love them all. But okay, and then here is a different angle on it. So we have our landscape version and our portrait version. Just to give you some ideas there. I don't know if you can see this little spider, this little guy up here. Okay, so this is from the embossing folder. These are the dies, the stamps, the designer series paper, the metallic iridescent pearls. Okay, so there are some fun things that you can make with this suite. And we'll make a card together today, but let me just go over a few other extras that I liked. So I got the Whisper White note cards and envelopes. There are 20 in here. That's what these are. That's what these card bases are. So that is something that I wanted to mention because sometimes it just makes the process go a little bit faster. If you want to have your Whisper White, I also have a very vanilla version, but I thought Whisper White would be better with this suite. So this is actually available in the annual catalog, the 2020-2021 annual catalog. If you're interested, item number is 131527. And another thing that I wanted to mention that I thought was really cool, this was a new addition to the annual catalog. And we'll be talking more about treat bags and boxes as we get closer into the season. What we're talking about today is really more of an introduction, just playing around with some simple ideas with the suite. But here they have these 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 acetate card boxes. And the acetate card boxes fit the 3 by 3 envelopes perfectly. So I started to decorate one here. I didn't actually get to finish before the live, but it's a really nice size where you could tuck in some treats in there. You could do a little set of cards or like mini invitations, you know how kids hand out at school. So the reason that I'm mentioning this is because I also got the envelopes, the 3 by 3 envelopes, which will fit perfectly in here. And I had decorated one of the envelopes for Halloween, but I don't know what I did with it. So that's not unusual, right? So here are the 3 by 3 envelopes. So these little add-on pieces, the acetate card boxes, this is a new size. There are 10 in a pack. That is item number 150428. And then the Whisper White 3 by 3 envelopes, that's also from the annual catalog. There's 40 of these in a pack. And it looks like that number is 145829. So wanted to mention those. A few other things that I wanted to add in with the suite are Vellum Cardstock. I love vellum, particularly for Halloween. I really like it for holiday projects, but I wanted to mention that I used a lot of vellum with these cards. And then of course our staple cardstocks, which are the Whisper White. Can you see all my scraps? And my basic black cardstock. Okay. So I really did try to keep these projects on the simpler side. But there are so many things that you can, tie in and add in with your card projects. Okay, so let me move these over here. I'm going to move our catalog out of the way. So of the ones that I made, we'll just go ahead and make, I had started a couple of card bases and didn't finish them, but we'll do a little stamping here. The cardstock, these are the pieces that I have left to work with. So that's pretty cool, right? And then I'll tell you the sizes that I cut everything down to. All right. And then here are some additional pieces that I had started so that we could assemble our card a little more quickly. But let's just go ahead here and take a quick look at the products. Okay, so here is that metallic mesh ribbon. Has a really great impact. I started to put it on a card base here. Okay, and then of course you could, bunch it or leave it just like that. We have the iridescent pearls, which I've showed once or twice before. And then we have our papers, which I have all cut up here, but let me just show you these. So here are our stamps. And these stamp absolutely perfectly. And then here are our dies. I did not use this yet today. Maybe we could use that on a project, one of the ones that we make live. And then we'll work a little bit more with the bats and the spider too. I also did not work with these two pieces today. So just wanted to mention that. Here's what I'm talking about with the vellum. This is from the embossing folder, from the spiderweb embossing folder. Look at the detail on that. I will be using this like crazy throughout the season. That is one of my absolute favorite products from this new catalog. And you'll have to let me know what you think of the catalog too. So let's see if I can get this little banner up just so that anybody who is jumping on knows what I'm talking about. All right, so here is our black glitter paper. Look at that. So gorgeous. That's another favorite, but I love glitter. Okay, and then let's talk about the papers. So these pieces have already been cut up, originally 12 by 12, but we have a damask pattern here. We have a floral pattern here. This is one of my favorites. This is the spider paper, purple. Okay, we have like this rustic looking aged stripes. This doily pattern. Love that. Love that one. And then we have this floral pattern, which is one of the things that they worked with a lot in the catalog demonstrated pieces. And oh, this is probably my favorite piece of paper. And then we have some more floral on the other side. Okay, so here are the stamped images. This is another thing that I was playing with the, we'll show that another time. That's pumpkin pie, which is the more traditional orange. Okay, so here you can see the stamp. This frames out. This is designed to be framed for this die piece right here. Okay. And then we have our large and our small spider and some really cool stamps. I love the design pattern on those. I don't know if you can see that well. On those bats, like a filigree looking pattern there. Okay. I need more space. Never enough space, right? Okay, so let's make a couple of cards. So here is one of our note cards. Okay, and you'll see that it is already scored in the middle. I'm going to take this banner down. Okay, so you can see that it is already scored in the middle. And I'm just going to bend it and fold it. Okay, and the side that has the bump is the side that's going to be on the inside of the card. And then this will be your smooth crease on the outside of your note card. Okay, and then for the sizes of everything, let's just get out the trimmer. All right, so the note card is 5 by 3.5. And then the layering pieces that I cut to 3.25 by 4.75. Okay. So here's how it fits onto the card base. And again, when I was designing this particular set of cards, I just wanted to do something, pretty simple. I didn't want to get too crazy, with layers and things like that, but just wanted to have the impact so that you guys could see the designer series paper, how you could pretty much assemble a card pretty easily, pretty quickly, and be done with it basically. So we can add on a sentiment here, and then we can add in some bats or spiders, just whatever you think. I would like to do a spider because we have these web patterns inside of the designer series paper. So that's usually what I do when I'm designing. And then on this particular piece, I took my Stampin' Blends and I colored in the leaves and the flowers. On this one, I left the web alone, but on a different version, this one I used let me give you the right purple. I used Blackberry Bliss, the combo for the purple. And then you can see here, I used the dark gray granite and I actually outlined the web. So whether you want to just leave the web alone or just give it a little accent with your markers or something like that, you could absolutely do that. Okay, I would definitely bring in my pearls for this one too. I would probably put them right in the centers of the webs. So let's go ahead and we'll make a couple of cards. And if you don't mind, I am going to use my old snail, if you'll forgive me, because I still have some left over. We have new adhesive in the catalog. It's called Stampin' Seal and Stampin' Seal Plus. But I had a malfunction with my Stampin' Seal and I had only bought one. So went back to my snail. So I'll basically use it all up and then I will get more seal and try again. But I'm just going to lay this down. Just eyeballing it to line it up. I pre-stamped and pre-cut a bunch of things when I was working on this suite. Look at those spiders. Oh my gosh. Because you can die cut these, so I just go boom, 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 all the way across. And you'll see why for our alternate project tomorrow. But for today, here's when you stamp the bats, this is one thing I wanted to mention too. It actually comes as one stamp. So they're together. But of course, when you cut them out with the die, here's the die, which is also together so that you can line it up easily. It's a 2-in-1 type deal here. When you cut them out, they're loose. So they separate. Okay. But I just wanted to mention that. We'll come back to that in a moment. But the reason that I'm showing you that is because I pre-cut a bunch. Okay, so here are the bats. Love. This one's not difficult to line up either. Very, very easy to line these up and cut these. Some of the dies can be a little trickier or very snug, just depending on the stamp that you're cutting. And then here are the spiders. That's what we'll be using here. Okay, so here's the stamp spider cut out with the die, which was the original intention. And then I also have some of these that I thought would look pretty cool if you added the pearl as a head to these little, the black spider shadows. So, and again, we'll be working with those again tomorrow for a fun project. But let's take a look here. I'm going to try to use some of the pieces that I have not used yet. So let's do that. I liked this trick or treat here. And let me just show you the original trick or treat stamp here. You can see is straight across and it has dashes in there for the trick or treat. I'm trying to say, I know I stamped it, but you guys, I am so sorry. This early morning crafting is something I got to get used to. Here it is. Okay, so here's what the original trick or treat looks like. And then on this one, so that I could do it vertical as opposed to horizontal, I took a Post-it and covered the or treat so that I could stamp trick, and then I covered up trick so I could cover, so I could stamp or, and then same with treat. So just two different ways that you can use one stamp in this set. I wanted to mention that too. If you have the black dimensionals, so perfect with this suite. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me just show you. These are the little mini black dimensionals. They have the regular and the minis in a pack, like a combo, as opposed to our regular, the white dimensional. So I thought these, and of course you could use either or, but the black ones are so cool, especially for projects like this. If you're working with bats or spiders or the basic black cardstock. But we're going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to just raise this up and let's do. I like to add more dimensionals rather than less. So I'm going to do that. I actually need to get more of the black dimensionals. Okay. I'm going to just put this right center. That looks good. I love that paper. I love this paper pattern. Okay. And here is my spider. So you can decide where you want your spider to go. You know, have him crawling out from behind the sentiment, or do you want to put him in the center of one of the webs? Do you want to put him right on the sentiment somewhere? I like that. I like the way that that looks, but let's see. Ugh, spiders, right? Okay, so let's see. They're only okay on the Halloween craft projects for me. I do not like them in real life. I like it here because there's like dark contrast on this part. So I think what I'm going to have him do is like kind of crawling out from behind the sentiment. I just think that that's cool. So I'm going to take one of my black dimensionals, put it right in the center of the body. And okay, and then let's go ahead and add some of the iridescent pearls. I want to put another spider on there. I want to put another spider on. One of the cool things about stamping it this way is that you do have room if you want to put like the small, if you would want to stamp like the small spider like down in the corner here, which I think is a great idea. But I'll leave this one alone. Okay, so we now have our trick or treat. Nice and basic. I had already colored in the flowers and the leaves, but we'll color one in together on one of the cards that we are making. Now for the next one, let's do, I have some of my bases pre-made. Let's take a look at these. Okay, so here are a few bases that I've already put together. Here is that pretty peacock damask pattern, which is a little on the fancier side. That might be a good one to use these on. So maybe we'll do that. So I'll put this one aside for now because I think that for this one, we're going to do There Is Magic in This Night and then some bats. So why don't we do that? Because this space here, I left this, I put the sentiment up here so that I could do something decorative down here. And since we've already done the spider, why don't we add some bats? We have some really cool little mini die bats, and then we have these bigger, fancier ones. So we'll do some of each, and we'll bat up this card a little bit. We'll make this one a little more fancy. So the question is, do I want to make it like this? Do I want to kind of bunch that in and have that up like that? Or do I want to just leave it out? I think I'm just going to leave it. And we'll put it up on dimensionals. But before we do that, we'll do some coloring. And then we'll also add in some of our bats. So we have, I'm just going to get them out so that we can kind of lay them out and check out our options. And then we'll do some of these smaller bats too. And of course, you can also do these bats in the black glitter. This is just the basic black cardstock. Here we go. I do have my glitter bats around here somewhere. Let's take a quick look and see. So let me just show you the difference between the bats. Just so that you can decide what your preference is. Okay, so our basic black bat and then our black glitter bat. So cool. I'm going to go with the basic black for this particular project. I'm also going to be bringing in my glue for the little bats. All right, so let me get my, I think I'm going to do a pop of color on this one. So why don't we do some pumpkin pie on this? I've said it before and I'll say it again. With the Stampin' Blends, I do real basic coloring. So we have a flower here, a flower here, and a flower here. And then we have some little leaves going around. We have these webs. And I'm going to color each of those items up just a little bit, just to give it something. Okay, so this is the light pumpkin pie of the Stampin' Blends. And I'm just going along the flower here. I have to say that well, I'm trying to do Wednesdays and Thursdays. But because Wednesday is the first day of the week that I start to do my crafting with you, it has become my new favorite thing. Like I actually look forward to it each morning. So I don't know if there's any routine that you have where you get a little time to yourself to do whatever it is that you love. But I really, really love doing these lives. I really missed them. I was trying to figure out like when the right fit would be. And even though it's so early, it's such a nice way to wake up and do some really pretty cute projects with you, show you new product first thing in the morning. It's cool. So let's see. And of course, if you're catching the replay, whatever the time of the day it is, hello to you too. I'm so happy to have you here watching, commenting, liking. You, oh my gosh, you were all so kind about the last one that I did with the Have a Hoot bundle. And they are so cute, aren't they? So it's been so fun talking with all of you and interacting with all of you as we've been doing these videos and as you guys have been catching the replays. Okay, because I'm sure there are very few people who are actually watching crafts at this time of the day. I have really been liking the old dark olive for the leaves with the pumpkin pie. What I did with while I was talking, I took the dark pumpkin pie and I just went into the creases of the flowers. So wherever you saw shadow in the flower, I just added a little of the dark pumpkin pie there. I'm not going to do any shading with the leaves because they're so small. So I'm just going to do the darker color. And I think it gives it some impact. But at the end, I mean, you'll see I use so many different color combos for these. You can really have fun with these tags or these sentiments, just depending on how you're planning on using it. You'll see in the catalog, they actually use these dies for a lot of like party favor type things and tags, which was really cool. And then today we're really using them as a card. So, I mean, as a sentiment on a card base. I guess my brain hasn't quite switched fully over to Halloween yet because, of course, it's August. But it's always good to kind of get in there and play with something new, just get some ideas. And then as we get closer to the holiday, really dig in and make some fun, festive, either, party favors or decor in addition to cards. But the reason why I like the note cards, particularly for these Halloween cards, is that if you are not a candy giver, if you prefer, if the person that you're giving something to for Halloween is older, they don't trick or treat anymore, but you still want to give them something and you do like monetary gifts or gift cards, or if you do lottery tickets like scratch offs, these note cards are the perfect size for that. They're not too big. I think that this year, I just want to give cards to more people for each of the seasons. I just have been so bad with mailing things, and I really want to get back to that. Okay, so that was our Old Olive Dark for the leaves. And then I'm going to take my Gray Granite Dark, and I'm just going to trace over the web. So I'm just following the artist's design here. Okay, and then let's do the little one. I just like the shadow, just gives it some interest, I think. Okay. All right. Now these two are going to go somewhere around the sides. They're not going to go on the on this, but the little baby bats can go on this. So let's take a look. Should I have them flying in formation? Or should I have them kind of going in and out like that? My brain is telling me to do it like that. So let's see. We're going to glue these on. I'm going to put some of this glue onto the other bat because that's a big gob. Okay. Sorry, I have a hard time gluing and talking at the same time. I should be gluing the wings too, but it's a demo project, so for the sake of time, we'll keep it minimal. Okay. I was going to say there's a little white speck on him for some reason. Got that. Okay. I love these bats. I love these bats. I just think that that is so cute. Okay, so we spent some time, but of course it's such a simple card. There's nothing wrong with taking some time for those things. And I mean, you can just see how that adds to the project. I'm going to take some regular dimensionals here. I've been liking to go into the four corners and then do one in the center. Sorry, that was off camera. I didn't mean to do that. I'm still getting used to working with a webcam. as opposed to my phone, which it is far and away so much better than when I was working on my phone. But I don't quite have the workspace like what you see here. Don't quite have the workspace down yet. Okay, so let me just add that on right there. If you want to add extra glue or extra dimensionals or reinforcement because you have the ribbon layer underneath, by all means, go for it. And now let me just take a look. I think that this bat might be a little too big for this card. I just think that he's going to be overpowering. So I might just leave it just like this, but let me see. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. I am going to add a couple of pearls because I love them, and there are so many of them. We can be generous with these, right? So let's do one here and one here. All right, and then there's that card right there. Love, love, love this designer series paper pattern. This is one of my favorites. Okay, and then let's go ahead and take a look at the fancy card. The fancy card might be where we get to use our filigree bats. So let's see. What I was thinking was I cut some half pieces. So we have like the whole piece here that we can stamp, right? And we could do it like traditionally, like lay it down like this. Or we could do a half piece. This is the larger layering piece. Or we could do a smaller half piece. And let's see. Let's get some of the design elements in place. And we can make a decision. So basically the way that I like to design cards is like piecing together a puzzle. So one of the reasons why I like ordering suites is because the whole suite has been designed for us. All of the pieces are designed to coordinate with each other, which makes it simpler if you are a designer and you do like the puzzle pieces. But you could also use these independently with any of your other, Halloween projects. And then if you look at this damask pattern, this card right now isn't even Halloween. Okay. So you could always stretch it out and work with these cards in different ways. Now, of course, I'm about to Halloween this up here, but let me just see. So this isn't quite long enough, so maybe I do it this way. And then we'll just trim that down. But what if we did a layer like that? So this instantly makes it more Halloween. And then we add in a layering piece. So the question is, would I want to layer it like that, where it's kind of overlapping the two layers? I like that look right there. And then have our sentiment piece like just be poking out here so that it's not taking over the whole project. Now, of course, you can see that underneath the vellum, so I would have to be careful with that. I would want to bring that to the line so that it kind of like all matches up. And then I could even do the second layer here like that. I could bring that layer in. So kind of like, I would have to trim that down a little bit. But let's see what sentiment stamp fits here. And then we could either do some more of these bats like this, which would be really cool. And then you kind of have that haunted house look, right? Or we could do the filigree bats, which of course I'm just making my own name for them. I don't even know. And I think that that has real impact on this card. So this is just kind of why we like playing with these pieces, right? So we just kind of like to get a, get a feel for it, get a vibe for it, and then just, make a decision. So that's just kind of the way that I work. I like the suite because the suite kind of gives me, it's like, okay, let's work within these pieces first. And if we want to add extras, we can add extras. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to have to trim this stuff down, but let's see our sentiments. Let's take a look at our stamps really quickly. And which one would we like to use? There is Magic in This Night, Open If You Dare, Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat obviously isn't going to work. Happy Halloween isn't going to work. So I think Open If You Dare would be perfect on this one. So let me see if I have, yeah, it's right in here. These are cling stamps. So you just need your little, let me see, that might be a little bit tight. It actually does fit on block A. So it's tight, but it fits. And then I have my spider on the other side. Okay. And of course, if you would want to stamp your spider, or, you could do that on the sentiment too, but let's see if this fits. So can you still, yeah, you can. Now, I kept it really simple with inks for these projects. I really just stuck to black ink. Of course, you can incorporate any of the colors that come within the set. So I used the Tuxedo Memento Black for most of it because I knew I was going to be coloring with my Stampin' Blends. But I also really love the impact of the basic black archival ink. The one thing I want to make you aware of if you're using the archival ink, and of course, this is a Stampin' Spot from one of my paper pumpkin kits, but it's very fresh because it's from June. So this stays. Once this is on, it's on. Like even as you're cleaning your stamps, it leaves a stain. So just be careful when you're using this one. I am going to use the archival ink for this because I love the impact of the black on this. It's like, it's such a true, really, really deep, rich color. And all right. And then let's go ahead and we'll start trimming this down and assembling this. So I believe that the layering pieces are 3 1/4. I believe that's why I want to trim these other pieces down too. So let me start cleaning up my space here. You can see how quickly it gets away from me, right? Put those over there. Of course, put your glue, put your top back on. Yep, 3 1/4. So that is our goal with these other pieces. I'm going to trim this one down a little bit. I'm not measuring this specifically. I just want to get some of the white off of that. It went into the vellum and I don't want it to peek through my vellum. So this is just going to be a, we're just going to play around with it and see what we end up liking. So with this, we're going to cut this piece down to 3 1/4. And we're going to do the same with our web. Now, whenever you're working with a web piece, I like this. Let me just see, like as I lay it down, which side is more important? Do I want to keep that pattern or do I want to keep this pattern? And I think I actually like the larger web better. So I am going to trim that off so you can see like where we go to the pretty peacock there, that's going to come off. Okay, so let's do 3 1/4 here. You could still use that for something else, little tag or something. Okay. Let's just see how this is coming together. This is what it looks like this way. I was just thinking I would have the diamond pattern face this way, but let's just take a look and see what it would look like this way. What do you think? I like it going this way. Just feels right to me. Okay. Yeah. So I am going to, how do I want to glue this on? Let's take a look at this piece too before I start pasting in everything. Let's see. I like that. Okay. So let's assemble this we'll go for the easier pieces first. Looking for my snail. Just going to line that up. All right, I can get these pieces out of the way. Now for this one, I'm trying to think. I definitely am going to do snail for the vellum. Okay, that looks good. Now remember, you can see that snail through there, so we're just going to try to put the snail in a place where we're going to be hiding it, essentially. And you could do a few different options for your glue here, but I'm just going to do, I think that this is going to be my best bet for the moment. Now it got a little bit, these little pieces here when I was using the trimmer just got a little bit weird looking. So I'm just going to trim that down just a hair so that that looks clean and straight again. I'm also going to look for webbing. So what can happen with your snail is if you have these little see-through pieces, it can start to look a little bit like a web. Now, would that be terrible for this project? Not really, because it's Halloween and anything that's sloppy or crooked or webby looking will just add to your design. it's the one haul totally wonky. But let me, again, I'm going to line this up so that it's mostly on the web, on the vellum, but that the outermost diamonds are on the pretty peacock layer. And you can see a little bit of what I mean by that web right there. Okay. And so you see how that looks a little bit. I'm just going to trim that. All right, and then we are going to tuck this in there. Okay, so again, I think that's a little too much white, so let me just get that a little closer. I'm going to hand trim it. I think that that is perfect. So let's take our snail and we'll tuck that in. Okay, so you can see my vellum is sticking up on this side. So I am going to sneak probably a few adhesive dots on this side, and then maybe we'll cover it with some bats or a spider. But let's just take a look and see. So I'm going to add this one here. And let's add another. I think I have another smaller one here. Now on this side, I feel like it disappears a little, you know, like I feel like you can't really see it. So let me, I like that better on that side. I could do this all day. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm wondering if I should just do the one. I don't know. I like to. I like to. All right. And now for my little bats, let's see if we can get away with doing some adhesive dots and see if we can get that secured. The vellum. Yeah, that's going to work just fine. Okay. And then should I leave it just like that? Or should I add in, maybe I could do a spider on this side. I'm not sure if I'm sold on the bats. But you know what? The spider would probably disappear too. He definitely stands out a little bit more. I'm sticking with the bats. So let's do this. All right, and then let's bring in some of our pearls here. And this, these iridescent pearls, like one of the colors that actually stands out for me, and it might just be because it's pulling from the paper, but they look like pretty peacock to me, the pearls. Okay. So you don't have to give me a lot of reasons to put 50 pearls on a project. I like to decorate with pearls a lot, especially when I had plenty of time to craft. Like back in the day, I used to use pearls like they were going out of style. So to have these, the iridescent ones are just, they are so beautiful. And I think it adds a little bit more of an elegant touch, considering that we have the damask and we have the vellum and we have these fancy bats. You know, it just really is going to finish off the project nicely. All right, so there you go. All right, so let's just take a quick look at all of these cards and then we will end this. So basically what I would stamp on the inside of each of these cards, anyone that doesn't say Happy Halloween on the outside, I would put Happy Halloween on the inside. Okay, so I would stamp that on the inside, and then I would do something fun with the envelopes. Maybe I can follow up with that tomorrow. If it says Happy Halloween on the outside, I'm not sure if I would put anything on the inside. I might do Trick or Treat, you know, as a sentiment on the inside there. And I have a couple of other Halloween stamps that I might mix in with this suite, but for today, I really wanted to stick with the suite if I could. And just to point out, the colors here are real red and, oh my goodness, shaded spruce. Okay, and then let me bring in these other ones. Okay, so we already talked about that was Blackberry Bliss, and this is just Jade. And then that is the dark gray granite on the web. And then we have this one here, which is the dark gray granite, and then the basic black light on the leaves there. Okay. And then we have, this is dark pumpkin pie, which I thought was a better match to Cajun Craze. I actually don't have the Cajun Craze Stampin' Blends, but I actually colored, I added in the big spider stamp on this particular sentiment. And then I actually colored him in the dark gray granite. And then this is the shaded spruce leaves. And then we have our little baby spider over here. And I actually fussy cut him out. He doesn't have a coordinating die. And then we also have the Open If You Dare. This is an example of the layers of what these layering pieces look like. This is the Old Olive light and dark, and then the pumpkin pie light and dark with the basic, the gray granite light. And then we have, there is Magic in This Night. Okay, and then there we did the basic gray dark, or no, I'm sorry, I keep saying that, gray granite dark, and then the Old Olive dark with the pumpkin pie combo there. Okay, so we got some really cute Halloween cards. I hope that you really love, let me put it back up. Let me put the banner back up. I hope that you really, really love the Magic in This Night suite. And let me know, let me put a comment up here as I'm ending this live. Do you make Halloween cards or treat bags? So let me just show this. All right, so that would be my question to all of you. So for anybody who stayed to the end, thank you so much. You are so sweet. I hope that you enjoy this new catalog. I hope that you enjoy the new Stampin' Up! Online store, which is going to be so much easier to use. Didn't really touch on it today, but I can do a walkthrough. If anybody would like to see that, just let me know. I will see you again tomorrow morning, probably somewhere between 7:15 and 7:30. I'm going to aim for 7:15 and see how we do. But I welcome all of your feedback. Let me know what you think. What do you think of the new catalog? What do you think of the Magic in This Night suite? All right, thank you, and you have a great day.